Hi Dad, August 14th. It's been a little while since I posted a video, but that's typical for me lately. So I thought I would do a little garden tour so you can see what's going on. Hang on, let's go for a little ride. So I've turned off the fan. We can see what's going on in the greenhouse. So there was a lot of tomatoes earlier that were ripe. I have picked a lot and I already made a batch of pasta sauce, tomato sauce, and that's sitting in the freezer right now, freezing up. So one of the most significant things is the spaghetti squash. I have 4. This is one of the larger ones. There's a little one back there. And back here on the shelf, this guy is huge. He must be almost a foot tall. And I do have one more back here. Right there. There's more flowers, but I think they're all male flowers. Like they all have the long skinny stem. None of them seem to have the little fruiting body behind it. I have the same thing with the eggplants. I've got lots of flowers on them, but the flowers all just kind of dry up. I don't have any fruiting on them except on this kind. It's like an Oriental kind. It's Chinese long. And my God, I just said I had no other eggplants, but this is the, I think that's Listata de Gandia or something like that. Guess I do have another one. Well, that's nice to see. As for the peppers, these ones are all King of the North, so they're just plain bell peppers. And I've got some green peppers. It'll be a while before they ripen. And I'm not one for green peppers, so that's a pretty good size. Yeah, I'm not one for green peppers, so I'm going to wait until those ripen up. These tomatoes are the little midnight snack ones. I wasn't sure I was going to get them because I thought they were a hybrid tomato, so I assumed that they would not come true. There's another one. I really like those guys. They start out quite black and then they turn red. And in there is a tomato called Lemon Boy. It's one of Bruce's favorites. That one is also a hybrid. So I've never bothered trying to grow from the seed of it. Like the midnight snack tomatoes, I bought a plant of it. I didn't buy seeds. So that's why I decided to try to save the seeds and see what would happen. Since those seeds came true, I might try some of these Lemon Boy seeds and see if I can get the plants to come true from the seeds instead of just relying on the store-bought ones. I've got a couple of basil plants that are doing really well. There's a couple little rosemaries back there. One is there, the other one is there. I think they want more light and more wind challenge. They don't get any wind back in the corner. The fan blows straight across, so helps with the pollination and stuff, but doesn't make my little rosemaries any sturdier. This is a plant, a hot pepper plant that I grew from seed. I had picked up one of these peppers somewhere. It's called Czech Black, and it grew true, so that's nice too. And back here are all my plum tomatoes. I have, these guys are San Marzano. And those ones are another one that the name escapes me right now. I've already harvested a fair amount from them and they're still coming up green. This is my loofah plant. I don't know what it needs, but it has never flowered. It seems to be growing just fine, but that's all I get from it. Just lots and lots of leaves coming up and up, trying to get out the roof. I had to cut it back earlier because it was taking over all my ginger plants and going into tomato plants, and it was actually trying to get out of this little back window. So, yep, this is my ginger forest. I'm quite happy with it. The little things are setting new pieces. I might actually get a ginger harvest this year, whereas last year I didn't. So I'm quite excited about that, because you know me, I love my ginger. Okay, I'm going to head out to the outside garden. I might end up wiping the audio and just doing a voiceover, because as you can tell, it looks like a little bit of a breeze. And I know that you hate it when there's lots of background noise. So we will see how that goes. And we'll pick up this video in a minute. This is my onion bed. Onion among other things bed, I guess. So white Russian kale, it's good stuff. Even be even better when it gets colder, because that stuff is good when it's got a lot of cold in it. These are leeks. They're kind of funny because you may or may not know that they're onion-like. Even the ones that I planted this year went to flower, and I had to keep breaking off the heads. This one is really weird. It looks like it grew and then another one grew up next to it, so like right through it. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Some of these are getting to good size, so they can be harvested. They're sort of like onions, but they're a whole lot milder. They're really nice. I've pulled up almost all my onions at this point. The ones that went to seed I didn't even bother with, because you know that they'll have like a woody core down the middle. So those are onions if I'm desperate for onions. That is a little delicata squash plant that I grew for Aletha, but it's not doing the best. And this is an English cucumber plant that I put in. I thought it was a little bit too late, but I can see right now that I have 3 cucumbers. I think I better put something under those cucumbers to keep them from touching the ground, because I have a feeling that slugs and earwigs will get them if I do that. So I guess that's what I'll do right now. All right, next are my zucchini plants. I have pulled, I think, 3 big zucchinis off of my green zucchini plant. And there's another one right there. This again looks like it hasn't been making female flowers, just male flowers. There's the little zucchini. Sorry, I keep forgetting sometimes that the camera can't see what I can see. I also have a yellow zucchini plant. I wonder if yellow zucchini likes more heat than the green zucchini, because this guy is obviously still producing female flowers, because that's one right there. And that's an upcoming zucchini. It looks like it got fertilized. So yeah, maybe yellow zucchini likes more heat. So my rhubarb wasn't doing well for a while. And I think I figured out what it was. I had too much mulch. And things were getting in there, I think, and eating the stems. So I pulled the mulch back. And it seems to be doing better. I don't know if it was ants or earwigs or whatever it was. But like the new plants are not being chewed. You can see this one was pretty well chewed up. So hopefully the rhubarb does well now. Was not a good year for rhubarb, was it? So I can't show you my garlic outside because it's all been harvested. So that's my main type of garlic, and that's the secondary type. And this is the onions, the majority of the onions that I harvested. So they're mostly red onions. There's some New York Early, those are the white ones, and also a couple of these shallot style. So that was the onion and garlic harvest. I think next year I'm going to work a little harder on getting more onions, because I kind of like these. I like growing onions. I know you can buy them cheap as hell in the store, but I like to grow things, right? I'm going to have to do a voiceover on this one, I'm pretty sure, because there's a breeze going on. So what I wanted to show you in this one is my grapevines. So I've been watching them pretty closely, trying to make sure that I don't get a Japanese beetle infestation here. I have found a few on them, to be perfectly honest, but nothing consistent, and every time I've removed them. It was kind of funny. One time when I was down here with a spray bottle of soapy water, I was spraying the plants and I found a couple of Japanese beetles. There was 2 on it, which really made me worry that it was starting to be an infestation. But it turns out it was the only 2 that showed up at the same time. Anyway, I didn't want to run back up to the house to flush them or to get some soapy water to put them in. So I actually opened my container of spray bottle of soapy water and put them in there until I could bring them back up to the house and flush them away. So yeah, the grapes are definitely doing well here. I think this is the first year I've gotten grapes off of these vines here. Strawberries are suffering. I try to keep them watered, but these little beds dry out super quick. So I've got the soaker hose in there, try to keep them wet. And it's the same thing with the raspberries. They're really not doing well because it's so dry. Try to water them, but even when you put a ton of water on them, it turns out that if you dig down into the soil just a little bit, they're still really dry. There's one of my eagles. Don't know what he's after. My cat's in the house, so he can't be after my cat. Sometimes when I have the cat out on the lead, you see the eagle flying close over the shore, over the yard. Yeah, too much wind on this one, so I'll definitely have to do a voiceover. So these are the beets that I planted in. The regular little weeper hose that I had just was not keeping up with the drought that we've got going on, even though I had it set to go off twice a day for an hour. So I put an actual soaker hose on here. It also goes off twice a day for an hour because it's on the same system, but I barely turned it on at the tap, so not much goes through. So this is another experiment I'm doing. These are garlic that did not get pulled out last year. They regrew this year, and they all set bulbils. So I think I have more bulbils than I do garlic in the basement. We've got beans that Bruce planted. Don't know which ones those are. We'll see. This is some more of the, I think this is delicata squash. I think I will actually turn this down a little bit. That's full open. There. Okay, that's still dripping, but not quite as much, so I'll leave it at that. I think those are cucumber plants that Bruce bought that I'm not terribly happy there. That's okay. Bruce has 3 kinds of pepper plants that he bought and put in. These ones are jalapeno. This is cayenne. And those are the banana peppers. Those suckers are loaded. A ton of them. And what's over here? He put in some runner beans and some peas. And over here, what? I guess he put in more beans. And this is, I don't even remember what this is. Oh, I guess this one is the extra delicata squash. Not quite sure what the other ones over in the corner are. And I decided that I better water my asparagus. It's been so dry, and I do want more asparagus next year, so if you want it to come back, I guess you have to take care of it. So every day here has been hot and dry. We haven't had a decent rain in 2 months, but it looks like maybe today might be our day. Cross your fingers. Everything's so bloody dry, it would probably have to rain for 4 days in a row to make up for it. The lake is really low. There's two grassy islands out there. When it gets to its lowest point, those two join, and they're not quite there yet. So we have had wetter years. I mean, sorry, we have had wetter years, but we also have had drier years. As a matter of fact, each year, by the end of the summer, those two grassy islands meet. So this is the boaty area. This funny thing is where Bruce pulls up his sailboat when he has it out. He's got a little Hobie Cat boat. And that is his pontoon boat that he bought secondhand. Bought a couple floats from Kent Building Supply, and then he made one. He bought 3, and then he made this to get out there. He wants to build this area up a little bit to make it easier to get on that. Because, you know, we're getting older. Everybody we know is getting older. We went out in the canoe yesterday to try to figure out where some shoals are on this lake, because this lake has got lots of low spots. All right, that is it. I think I'm going to try to go into the farmer's market now. Talk to you later.